you smell what the Rock is cooking?
We are live! What's up, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, and Twitter? We are The Rock Block. Boom! Coming at you live.
Welcome to episode 11. We are the Rock Block. We are the internet's dedicated podcast to watching all things Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I am one of your hosts. My name is Zach.
I'm Sloan.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're here tonight bringing you episode 11. We just watched Rampage.
Rampage!
What a good fucking movie,
That
guys.
was a good one.
Wowzers!
What a good movie.
Had all the... No, I didn't have all the things, but it had enough of the good things.
It had all, like, kind of what I wanted in a movie with starring Dwayne. Like an action
So many
Dwayne
notes,
movie.
I don't even know where to start.
Like,
I don't want to give anything away in the beginning here, but it is exactly what you
like if you're bored and want to watch a Dwayne action movie, this is... I can't think of a better place to start.
The thing is, it's an action film that's so ridiculous that I have no complaints. Because also, the actors, they got too good of actors for this plot.
They were like...
This is based on a Game Boy game from like 1992.
Time out here.
Brace yourself here, bro.
So
Sorry,
the film is
2002?
Rampage. Takes place in the year 93. A nod
No,
to
it doesn't.
It does. It
doesn't
does.
take place in 93.
The
They
CRISPR
said
technology.
They said in 1993 CRISPR was invented. They didn't say this when it took
A
place.
nod
It takes
to-
place now because they said back in 2010. No,
Sure.
it takes place
It
in
does.
current.
It does. But
CRISPR. Let us know what CRISPR is. Give us a nice scientific breakdown of what CRISPR is, Aaron.
I actually
do that
wanted to
before the
start
plot?
with the
Yeah.
video game.
Okay, yeah. What do you got, man?
So this is the latest in a small trend of films to make a movie out of a game that does not seem like you could make a game out of it, or a movie out of it. For
Yeah.
example, Battleship starring Rihanna.
Yeah,
didn't
never
see that
saw
film.
that. Never
Didn't
saw
have
that.
The Rock,
If it had
so
The Rock in it, I would have seen
It wasn't on my radar.
Yeah, the same.
So, this one is about Rampage, the N64 brawler.
It was
where
badass, dude.
I
I love
played it
that
on the
game.
Game Boy. It was
Control
on N64.
64, dude, that's how I played it.
You
I
control
played it on the
a large mutant animal and climb on top of buildings, punch the sides of them until
You just get
punch
points ruining the
all
city.
sides. You ruin the whole city.
Yeah.
And
Destroy buildings,
that's
destroy tanks.
literally
yeah.
it. There isn't a plot.
No.
I mean, the plot is there's like these things on the loose. There's like
Genetic giant
maybe a
monsters
genetic-
destroying the city.
Yeah,
That's about as
it's
deep as
not
it
much
gets.
to go. So it gives our filmmakers here a playground
Yeah.
to work with, and
What better playground than having Dwayne The Rock Johnson in your movie, too?
Yeah, and I don't know how Battleship turned out. There's also going to be a Tetris movie. Don't know. That's actually a trilogy coming out.
What?
Sci-fi trilogy.
You're lying
Why?
right
Look it up.
Why?
You're a liar.
I can't speak for
now.
those
You're a
movies.
liar. You're
That's-
doing your lie thing, where I'll tell people that there's Tetris movies, and there's not.
You're gonna look like an asshole because
They're real?
look it up.
It sounds like an
I
Aaron
can see there
lie.
being one. The same way it was.
It's
I don't
gonna be
believe
3.
that all the Avatar movies coming out will actually come out because, like, after the first couple, and the like economics are gonna settle in, people are gonna be like, you know what? Maybe we don't go all in on all these.
Yeah.
I can see it being a similar thing.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know how any of those movies are gonna work out.
However,
but
as
this
far as
one
video
did
game
work.
adaptations, this is a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It all starts in space.
space. What better way to start a movie?
Talking about CRISPR DNA editing technology, the research is on a space station orbiting the Earth. There is a problem. There are dead bodies in space. There are dead floating dudes that some guy has to... Ellen
woman.
DeGeneres has to push
She's
through the dead
a
bodies.
woman with short blonde hair.
it's Ellen
Continue.
DeGeneres.
That's
She's
Ellen.
way prettier than Ellen, but okay.
She is prettier than Ellen.
She was.
I don't like that. Okay.
And there is, we find out shortly that something went horribly wrong. There is an actual mutant on board.
We're introduced to a catastrophe.
There's a giant rat monster.
Yeah.
With spikes. So she's reporting back to Control, saying you need to get me out of here, and they're like, you can't leave if you don't bring the genetically modified research back.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can fucking die, or you can bring our research back.
Pretty twisted.
So she's like, oh no, everybody's dead. I'm the only one left living. But she's like, I guess this is what I have to do to come back home. So she, floats through all the dead bodies. There's just like limbs hanging around. There's a hand that she has to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And then she picks up the genetically modified materials. And there's a big rat that's very aggressive and covered in spikes coming at her. And then she gets in her escape pod.
Gets away, and then the glass shatters.
The grass is clacked.
The grass is clacked. Yeah.
She thinks she made it, and there's a brief, oh my god, I can't believe that I'm not in this thing that just blew up. I'm safe. And then she blows up. But the containers that she rescued are engineered to withstand re-entry.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. Why?
Don't know. Who would...
It's like the classic joke of a black box on a plane. Why isn't everything made out of the black box?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. I do get the idea of like something so scientifically dangerous that it needs to be advanced in space. I like that idea a lot. Like, this shit is too crazy. Let's just study it in space.
I feel like if I can defend the science of this movie for a second, because
I was
there's not
saying
much
I like that
science you
aspect.
can defend, I would say it kind of makes sense to have like teeny tiny little boxes like made with some pretty nice materials where maybe they can withstand it.
I think having this character that we're first introduced die instantly kind of set a tone for the movie that
Definitely
maybe this will
did.
be
A lot of death.
goobery, violent, and maybe
The movie
not
has stakes.
super serious.
Movie has stakes.
Also, no
There's shit's
stakes
gonna
because
happen.
everyone will die. Who gives a shit?
Could be.
It's
yeah.
gonna
It's
be
like
a
they're all
gruesome
gonna
thrill
die.
ride.
Yeah.
Don't connect to anyone.
Yeah. Exactly. Oof.
So we continue watching this film. At minute 6, 19 seconds, Dwayne is first featured. Dwayne is talking to a young group of explorers.
I think
there's
they're upcoming primatologists.
yeah, they're interns or undergrads,
Baby
at
scientists.
I'm gonna guess they are
primate
grad
school.
students.
Yeah,
They're grad
students.
there's funny boy, hot chick, and loser El Diablo. He is making up weird, awkward lies. He says he went to Hogwarts. That line didn't land.
That
was the
wasn't
worst.
him that said that. You screwed the whole
You're
joke.
misquoting what happened.
Misquoting.
No, he said it.
Nope, that's not what
You're
happened.
misquoting the people saying different things.
He said he went to Hogwarts.
No, he didn't.
One of the people said making fun of the other person
talking
saying
about. So this guy was okay. Skinny dude is
semantics.
Skinny dude with a shirt tucked in was trying to impress hot girl with pink shit in her hair, and he
Too
was
old for
like,
that shit,
and
too,
he
right?
was like, I
Right.
went to Uganda. You ever seen Blood Diamond? It's exactly like that. And The Rock's like, hold up, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I really went to Uganda. Then funny comic relief nerd, who's actually a good comic relief, said, yeah, and I've been to Hogwarts. That was the joke.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Skinny man did not say Hogwarts.
no, it was the nerd guy that was
Nerd
like,
guy said Hogwarts.
he was making fun of him.
Really?
I
Yeah,
think you were.
turns
I
out.
misheard that the 2 times I've seen this movie.
Oh.
Because I thought both times, like, wow, that was a really bad line.
Why would he say no? Yeah.
No, it was just like
It was
Yeah,
funny,
making
guys.
fun of him.
slightly.
Okay.
Yeah, it was making
Making
her.
fun of him.
Also, though, before we I see where we're going right now. Going down through our notes chronologically. Do you think that we should first just set up? I feel like we should just set up the main plot of the movie, and then get into the nitty gritty. What do you think?
I like that. Can that follow us at least mentioning the video format?
We
of
will
this
get into
episode?
the nitty gritty. I feel like we should
We
just
have
say
not talked about
what
that
this
yet.
movie is actually about, in case, like, we did say that it's about the video game, but we haven't said. I
No,
just
the
wanna do
video
a-
format of this
have jumped
episode.
the
We
gun.
have.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to
lenses
cover.
pointed at
We're
us.
kind of just We jumped many guns, and I think we have some stuff
Jumping
we
so
need
many
to cover.
guns. We're excited about this movie coming out.
Rewind.
We got a lot to say.
Okay.
This is the
We got a lot
first one
going on.
I
fucking
filmed
fake cigarette.
with a fake cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah, be careful, dude.
It's hot.
Better not ash on that carpet.
So,
That's what I say
this is a bit of an experimental episode. We've been away from the game for a little bit, and we
Yeah.
wanted to re-energize. And this is our first episode filmed, and it's not just filmed in some boring-ass 2D. We are looking at crispy clear 4K 3D 360 VR footage, and it will be released hopefully in a couple different formats. Should be a good time.
Yeah. So we gave you the first 10 episodes of the Rock Block. The second 10, we're looking to give you maybe a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Is this episode 11?
Episode 11.
This is
It's kinda
maybe
perfect
the
timing.
start of a second chapter, perhaps. We took a little break. This is the first one of 2019.
We're still figuring stuff out. You
It's the
never
first
know.
one of 2019 too. That's
Yeah, it's true.
Well, we're
It's all
growing.
kind of
Think
fun.
of how far we've grown. The first couple awkward episodes, we picked up the momentum.
Now we just say fucking whatever and it's fine.
Now
anyway.
we
let's-
say fucking
let's
whatever and
establish
it's
some
fine.
Stuff.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll find our way there.
Okay.
We'll walk through the jungle as Dwayne
I would
led
just like
people
to
through the
explain
jungle.
The plot of the movie.
It's probably important.
Okay.
We are talking about the movie.
The plot of the film is, as we stated, there was a experiment going on where there is genetic modification. They show that in like the prologue with the flavor text in space.
Yeah.
Genetic modification, CRISPR. What? I'm just
CRISPR.
doing a very
Are
quick.
you gonna rush through the whole film right now?
No, I'm gonna explain.
She's getting us caught back up.
Because I think it's good to explain what the movie is before we get specific breaking it down if nobody's ever seen the movie, which I assume most people haven't watched Rampage. Is that fair? Not that people shouldn't see it. It's great.
Yeah, you should see it.
But
It's
if
a
I
good
just
movie.
saw the trailer, I might not have went to see it. But now that I've seen
If
it,
you've seen the trailer and you thought you shouldn't see it, then you're an idiot.
well, it's just it. Here's
Hard
the thing.
truth.
Okay,
Okay,
here's
hard
the thing I'm gonna
truth.
say.
If you
Here's
want to
the thing I'm
spoil the
gonna
whole
say.
podcast in the first 5 minutes,
Here's
that's
the thing
fine.
I'm
That's
gonna
up to
say.
you.
I'd like to say this really quick.
What do you got?
The trailers for Rampage and Skyscraper, pretty comparable.
Large
The
buildings,
quality-
large buildings, and a large
The
man.
quality of the movies,
Yeah.
Rampage,
It's true.
way farther up.
Way better.
So I could understand maybe not seeing this one, maybe
See
skipping it.
Rampage
I think
and not
it's
Skyscraper.
Worth seeing. I think it's worth
Watch the
seeing.
trailer for Skyscraper.
Skyscraper was Dwayne's poorest movie of 2018, I think.
But the trailers are comparable, so I could see if you're
Yeah.
gonna. You
You're
maybe
right.
would
They
ignore
build up
this
hype,
movie.
of
You're
course.
right. You're
I assumed that Skyscraper was going to be better than Rampage. Rampage is 75 times better
So
than
much better,
Skyscraper.
dude. So much better.
I think 75 is an
So much
accurate
better.
number.
I would not rewatch Skyscraper.
Me either.
No.
This is the second time
You
I've
have
watched
rewatched
Rampage.
I will probably watch it a third time.
So I guess bring that into our audience. Aaron and I have both seen Rampage, but we didn't talk about it. So
Yeah,
now
'cause
we're
I
watching it
couldn't- I
again
didn't
with
go to the
Sloan
movie.
to bring everyone the gift that is the Rock Block,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, kind of break down the Rampage.
So, I just want to do just very quick. I feel like we should just cover what the movie is. So the movie is, if you haven't seen it, before we get into the details, genetically
Sean Paul.
modified stuff where you can you put this special genetic modification into an animal and it makes it supercharged. It grows fast. It's super fast.
Super strong,
it's
super
healed,
aggressive.
super aggressive. It's a man and animal and building killing machine.
Yeah.
Right? And then The Rock, he's a primatologist. He specializes in gorillas. He's friends with gorillas. He's a super scientist.
He's worked with
That's
gorillas all
really-
of his life. He's like worked with keeping them away from poachers and saving them a lot too.
And there's a lot of
So he has a lot
history
of
we don't know.
emotional relationship.
We'll get into that too.
All right.
But no, there's a lot to get into with this character.
There is.
And so he's a primatologist. He works with gorillas. He speaks sign language to them. They're friends. He gets their body language. They understand him. And
How do
then,
you feel about Dwayne's use of sign language in the movie, by the way?
I mean, it's just like
I don't know
Coco.
sign language myself like a ton,
Coco.
but it seemed good.
Any of our
A bunch of-
viewers that are familiar with ASL, feel free to
It
chime
seemed like
in
a
and
bunch
look.
of just like simple things that
Uh-huh.
he was
I think
using.
he did it tastefully.
Yeah, it seemed good.
And I do know that Dwayne actually took this pretty seriously.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to do this and half-ass it. He's a whole ass kind of guy.
If I remember correctly, he was dealing with real apes training for this movie.
Where's that footage, dude? Where's
I
that
don't
goddamn
believe you.
footage?
Oh boy, I hope it exists because I'm.
We'll get back to your rock block.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tune in for
plot of
all
the
the
movie.
features.
Animals get big. The Rock needs to save it. He gets a friend. She helps, and then they try
Blasting
to save
through
the
this.
world. That's it. Okay, I just wanted to cover the plot real quick because we're gonna get into so many details that it's not gonna make
Go
sense.
one detail at a time, dude.
Yeah,
it's
I
fine.
didn't, I didn't like that.
So we go from Dwayne introducing some young grads to his gorilla friends. One of them is an albino gorilla whose name is
George.
George. And at first it seems like he's a very scary gorilla, but it turns
No,
out
it's not. He's a
Well,
protector.
First off,
That's what I'm saying.
We see him as
the
a
nerd
As I
under
was
the
saying, you
undergrad.
interrupted me actually. He starts off as
I'll stop
he
talking.
introduced as scary, but it turns out he's a jokester and a protector. He actually cares.
Because the undergrad that is trying so hard to get laid
Turns out it's a big baby boy.
He gets attacked by Pavo, kind of intimidated by
Wow,
Pavo.
you must have wrote that down.
Yeah. Pavo is a new ape to the conservation that his parents were killed by poachers.
Yeah.
And
He's a young man.
he's got some aggression, and he's about to beat the fuck out
He
of
was trying to get
Undergrad.
chicks.
And then
fuck gorilla
our
babes.
boy, the albino gorilla, comes in and stops him.
Oh, like full on, just like body slams into him, just
And-
knocks him over.
For a bit, you're like, well, now this guy's even bigger, and he's gonna tear him in half. But then he's like, I'm just pranking.
I'm just pranking. He's a huge prankster. He's
And-
got a big heart.
And Dwayne is like, oh, you're pranking.
That's not okay. He did want to. George did want to beat him up, but The Rock could be like, buddy, don't beat him up.
I disagree.
No, yeah, because he wanted to beat him up, and then he was like,
No, because then he laughed at him, and he's like, "You didn't make him laugh. You made him cry."
no, but no, he wanted to. No,
I
that
think
is.
you're wrong on this, Sloan.
I think you're wrong on this
Oh,
too.
whatever, fine.
He scared him, and he thought it was funny. But turns out, Dwayne was like, he just thinks it's funny. He's actually scared.
He might have wanted to beat up Pavo.
He wanted to keep fucking with
But there
him.
was no PVE going on here.
Oh no, I meant Pavo. He wanted to keep fucking with Pavo.
Yeah, maybe.
And then, but he was like, remember, because then he told him, poachers killed his parents, and then George was like, oh, you're
Same.
right.
George was like, "Oh fuck,
Oh.
same." Turns out.
Yeah, you're right. Because he wanted to keep pounding
Man,
on him.
Guys, I'm gonna take a side note here. I'm so glad we live in a time where we get good gorilla movies. Like, not only is this, I would say, a good gorilla movie, but the Planet of the Apes trilogy too.
I love those
Just
movies.
like good gorilla movies, man.
We finally made it.
It's just like,
'Cause
man.
if this looked a
like it
little,
a lot.
if this looked shittier, it would have been awkward and bad.
Yeah, it would have.
But it was pretty good special effects.
It
I
was.
like the facial expressions that they got.
They seemed like actual like living things communicating. It didn't seem like a
Facial
CG mess.
expressions, yeah.
yeah.
And occasionally, yeah, it's a big CG explosion.
I know it's
fest,
CG, but
it like was good.
I could
CG,
stay in the
yeah.
world. I
Right.
wasn't like separated from the world. I was
Yeah.
always in it.
Yeah. It was
So I'd like to punctuate this moment here with Dwayne and George talking and being like, "You're pranking, but you gotta chill."
Mm-hmm.
He reaches up.
good. For a fist bump.
He reaches for a fist bump. The monkey George goes for the fist bump too.
Wop.
Gives him a middle finger. That's
Yeah.
part of his pranking.
He's a fucking prankster.
And then he's like, okay. Here's the bump. Another middle finger.
yeah.
I would like to say too, just like about the prankster aspect of George. From seeing just like gorillas pretty casually at the zoo, I feel like there was just like, this is about gorillas.
Yeah.
Because gorillas
There's
are
yeah.
pranksters.
Yeah.
They throw stuff at each other.
Were you with me when we saw that prank?
Yeah, they play games. They
Gorillas
prank.
are pranksters.
And I think that it's not.
They get comedy.
Like,
they would
I
love
don't-
this
They
episode.
get comedy.
I think that they
Well, this
like.
podcast.
I feel like it is like actually like I wouldn't be surprised if they had a primatologist on board as some of the
Yeah.
research because
I could see that.
like they would be like, yeah, they like prank it. They make jokes because they do. And then like Coco, she does know sign language. Like there's some like real gorilla shit going on. What
Yeah.
gorillas are capable of.
Yeah.
But then like to the max. But like
Yeah.
they are pranksters. They love making jokes.
I'd like to talk about. So when we went to the St. Louis Zoo and we saw the ape exhibit, the gorillas, and there's about four.
There's some some
male
good gorillas
adults.
in there. Yeah.
I'm not sure
Adults,
how many there actually because they
there's-
can hide and some of them don't always come out at the same time.
And one of
Yeah.
them is, on the water feature, washing up or whatever, and this other guy comes up behind him, kind of looking shifty, scoops up water, throws at him, and runs away, just like purely as a prank.
And he was like laughing about it, and then he rolled
Yeah.
around,
Oh,
like
it was good.
ruffling. He was
Mhm.
ruffling.
He was
He was ruffling.
So, I liked seeing that
Gorillas
in this
play
film.
pranks. I
Mhm.
think they were like actually going off. Yeah, the
Yeah.
personalities of gorillas. They're silly guys.
But
Which,
Silly guys and
okay,
gals.
so gorillas can laugh, right? Are there any other species that are not ape-related that laugh?
I don't know.
Is comedy strictly a primate-related
I
thing?
think it's
Are we
primate-y.
primates? Nah, we're humans.
We're primates,
Look it up.
right? We're in the primate family.
the primate family, dude.
We monkeys.
We're definitely related. Where do you think we
We're-
get it from?
We're just gorillas with
Well,
less
It's
hair.
built in our DNA. That's how we're so funny.
Okay.
How do you think we evolved
Humor
above
came
the rest?
from apes.
Yeah.
There's the hyenas, but I don't think they're really laughing.
I don't think they're laughing either.
No.
I think it's more of like a
Cats
sharp
purr.
barking.
Cats purr.
That is nowhere close to laughing.
Dogs
Sloan.
bark.
And-
They-
It's snoring, almost. It's like a wake snoring.
I'm
It's
just
purring.
comparing reaction sounds. to-
Talking comedy, dude.
So, after the couple fake outs
Yeah,
with the middle
from the-
finger,
yeah.
they do connect, and we see Dwayne's enormous fist getting dwarfed by
Yeah.
the enormous fist.
You don't usually
Of
see
the-
Dwayne's fist get dwarfed by another fist. It was interesting.
It did, but they still felt like peers.
Yeah.
It was
Comrades.
Comrades. Yeah, there was a lot of bonding, and it was clear early on that they had a really good relationship together.
I mean, yeah, he saved him from being butchered. True American hero.
So, at the end of this romp, the girl is infatuated with Dwayne. The girl wants to get
The girl
Dwayne.
student.
She
The
tries.
girl student.
Yeah, she tries to fuck Dwayne.
She's like,
for like
hey,
5 seconds.
you were like so good. We get like a drink and
No,
stuff?
you're forgetting something.
And
What she- do you
which
write
I
down what
wrote
she
down.
said?
She said submission techniques.
Yeah. Yep.
She said
You're right.
she was interested in his submission techniques, and she wanted
Yeah.
him to teach
And
her
she gives him the
some
fuck me eyes.
submission techniques.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
and
The girl with the pink in her hair.
and comic relief next to Dwayne is like, dude, fucking do it. And he's like, I actually have plans.
His plans are to go hang out with his dogs that they mentioned like 3 times. We never see the goddamn dogs
Would've
that Dwayne
loved
is
to
supposedly
see them.
hanging out with.
Honestly, yeah, like
I bet it was a deleted scene.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I'm
Oh
thinking
my God,
it
when you
is.
find the deleted
I'm thinking
scenes.
it's a deleted scene because I feel like with all the buildup they were doing for him playing with his dogs,
Right?
I'm like, I bet it's wolves. Like, I figured it's like, it's not dogs. Because he, like, fucking plays with gorillas for his
Yeah.
job. Like, Dwayne's dogs
I
aren't
could see
dogs.
they're
They're
not
foxes
ruling that
and
out.
wolves.
I can see there being
Or
like
they're at
3 or
least-
4 dogs
Or they're
though.
at least, like, fucking army German shepherds or something. Like, there's
More
something-
than 1 or 2
There's something
for sure.
beastly. And
Yeah.
then a pug for comic relief.
And he's like the pack leader. We just want to get him. I just want to get him.
There's definitely a
Dwayne as
deleted
pack
scene. We need to
leader
get it
now.
on DVD, guys. Or Blu-ray.
I would have gotten distracted by the whole dog thing. It's probably good they didn't show it to me.
Maybe they realized that was a problem. People get doing it.
Anyway, in the middle of the night, canisters from the space thing
space.
come shooting down onto the Earth.
They land in Wyoming. They land in Florida. They land
Nope.
in Mount Rushmore.
They land
Should we make that
in
one up?
Colorado.
That last one was a guess. There was Mount
I
Rushmore
liked it.
shown.
They land in Colorado, San Diego, where the primate thing is, and in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, somewhere around Mexico. It
One
in
was the
Mexico.
Everglades. That was for
Oh,
sure.
the Everglades, Colorado, and San Diego.
Basically, we see all of the
Anyway.
mystery science that was a big deal up in space
Maybe it was
land
Wyoming.
and all get interacted with animals right away.
Yeah.
You're right, it was Wyoming.
It's in
Yeah.
the
They get
it's in the
to-
primate exhibit. It's in a pack of wolves, and one
In
lands
Wyoming.
in the the swamps of Florida, and a big old gator grabs it. So we know some shit is about to.
The
We
wolf
see
sniffs
like
it.
3
There's
reactions
some green,
to
There's
this.
like some full on just like silly green gas that's going in. The wolf sniffs it and he's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like the
At this
alligators eating
point,
green gas.
You
and,
know what's happening.
And our buddy George, he sniffs the green gas and he doesn't like it.
Because it fell and he was concerned for the family he was taking care of, so he went to go investigate.
'Cause he's a
Always
good
looking
boy.
out for his
He's
people.
As I
a
wrote
good
down,
dude.
George is a good boy.
He is
George
a
is
good boy.
he's a good gorilla.
So
What happens next?
Dwayne comes in the next morning to
Yeah.
find
He got like an emergency
Things-
call. You got to get here now.
things are not like they should.
Yeah, it turns out
he
his
has-
gorilla friend destroyed a bear.
He went
A
into the
grizzly
bear
bear.
exhibit and mauled a grizzly bear.
I think
It looked like it like smashed its head.
I think
It was
Dwayne said he
gruesome.
snapped his neck like it was a toothpick. I think.
Yeah, but that thing was all bloodied up.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a romp.
He fucked it up.
And he's
Got a big old scratch in
so
his chest.
George is hiding in like a little cave. He's a little
George
cut
was.
up. He's freaked out. But most importantly, he's big.
He's bigger. He's bigger than he
He's
was the
bigger.
previous night.
He's 2 feet taller than he was the day before. I
Went
think.
from like 7 feet to 9 feet,
I
which
think so.
still is incredible.
Yeah, that's a jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I went to 7 feet in the morning here, that would be
We'd be
enough.
weird.
I'd be
out.
shocked.
Yeah,
Concerned.
I'd be kind of jazzed for like an hour, but then I'd be like, I gotta go. To
But
the
then you'd be
doctor.
like, none of my clothes fit.
yeah.
And he'd be also very aggressive. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. You would
So-
be.
yeah.
And all that.
And you're having
midriff.
growing pains, and you're hungry. You're having so many
Real
negative
hungry.
feelings.
I have a quote written down. Oh, he's definitely bigger.
Yeah, I
I
wrote that
don't
down
know
too.
why I thought that was so important.
No, I wrote that down too. It's no, he's definitely bigger.
Oh, well, I got that. I got
Because
messed
the
up
girl
here.
is like, is he bigger? And he's like, he's definitely bigger.
He's definitely bigger.
I'd like to cut to another part of the movie in a roughly similar time frame.
What do you got?
The introduction of our scientist co-star.
Yeah.
She is in her apartment, running late.
Oversleeping
Yeah.
for work.
She tells her boss that she's in traffic, but she's not. She's in
Putting on pants.
She's put on pants. And
What
she
a
sees
bitch.
this shit on the news and is like, "Oh my god, it's my research." And
Yeah.
a camera cuts to a picture of her brother with cancer, who my understanding was always wanted to be bigger and couldn't be bigger, and that is why he was bald.
No. He had cancer, and his sister was like a genetic scientist trying to find ways to fix him. Essentially, that's what it
I'm
is.
going off of my notes. They
I
say-
wish it was more that he wanted to be big. I really do wish
I'm
that's what it
reading
was.
Dead brother always wanted to be bigger.
So she
I
sees.
think a little joke to myself here.
Yeah, she sees on the news our villains of the story.
The owners of the company she used to
Yeah.
work for,
Energine.
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 So Energine, there's some big corporation that's into, I don't know, genetic mutations and something
And
else.
money.
That's where the
Mainly-
gene
And money.
comes from.
It's mostly money.
And,
yeah, Energine. I never
It's a
picked
brother
that
and
up.
sister duo.
I did.
And so
I believe you.
we meet them, and so we meet them, I think, on her television screen. She sees that they're reporting on the news that there's been a meteor that crashed in the San Diego Zoo, and also, maybe unrelated, there's a gorilla that's killed a grizzly bear, and she's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Two
no.
pretty out there things that may or may not be.
May or may
related.
not be. They just happen to be happening in the same location.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh no, something happened. So yeah, she goes over to the San Diego primatology department at the San Diego Zoo. And she's like, well...
She talks to Dwayne, which for a few
like we
seconds
should
at least, we
introduce
could
the
talk
villains,
about
too.
Dwayne's character name, which I think we all pretty much actually enjoyed. So I know recently we've talked about how shitty his names can be in movies, but I think we all generally liked his name.
I
It was
forgot his
okay.
last name
It was
already.
Davis Okoye.
Okoye.
Davis Okoye, yeah.
I had the
It
thought
was fine.
earlier today that maybe we should abandon casting Dwayne as characters and giving them the characters' names because we all see him as Dwayne. So sometimes it's goofy when someone refers to him as Paul, and we all know that he is
You
Dwayne.
know?
But it gave him a bit of his Hawaiian heritage with Okoye, maybe.
I just like the name more than
It's
the
okay.
other
I think
names he's been
here's the
given.
thing. I
so
think
far.
Yeah.
Dwayne would be opposed to that too because he is very into getting into a character. As we discussed,
That's true.
he probably did play around with some chimps, and he definitely learned
Gorillas.
sign language.
Okay.
He just said primates, so I don't know if he actually interacted with gorillas. Maybe it was chimps. I don't know. But then, and I'm sure that he did some extensive research with sign language. He dives into his roles.
He
I don't
does.
think
He-
Dwayne would
he gives a
accept
fucking
being called Dwayne. I think
250%,
Dwayne
dude.
wants to be into this character.
Okay.
He's very into it.
You're right.
I think that Dwayne wouldn't be okay with that 'cause he's like, no, I'm not Dwayne.
I didn't think about that.
I'm Davis.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
He probably walks on set and says, "Call me Davis."
Yeah.
I don't think he's that.
Method actor.
I don't think he's a method actor like that.
But you don't know
I would be sad if I found out he did that.
why.
Just because I just heard bad stories about method actors being really obnoxious.
Yeah, but you
on
know
set.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You know how much of a good person he is.
I know.
He gives it his all.
Which is what makes me think that he's not a method actor because method actors,
Mm.
I think, a lot of times upset people.
Yeah, I think he's got
Like,
two.
whatever you gotta do to get your craft down, but I think a lot of times they're not very nice and they're kind of sociopaths.
Whatever, Sloan. What's next in the movie?
Okay.
Well,
What happens next? So she comes and talks to him, and she's like, "Hey, what's going on? I saw something in the news." How does she know about it?
Because she worked on it.
But how does she know that her tech got into the
I
zoo?
think she saw that, like, something fell from space and a
Assumed it was
gorilla
her thing.
is doing some shit, and she's like,
Did that news story say Anna
I don't
landed
even know.
no,
at
yeah,
the
because it also
zoo?
because it also showed a photo of her bosses. They said it was this Energene's technology. There was a like their satellite broke, and then
sense.
there was also like it was crazy how they would present these news stories so
Yeah.
close together.
Fucking
But in the
insanity.
movie, it made sense. She saw her evil bosses, and some shit fell from space. And a gorilla's going crazy.
That's too many things that line up
she
for it
was
not
like,
to be a coincidence.
This is my stuff.
I gotta go talk to Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Dwayne needs to know. So yeah, because it showed her evil bosses, the evil brother and sister
Yeah.
at
They're
Energene.
fun. They're
These are villains in a movie that I actually enjoy. I think villains can either be like intimidating, stupid, or just like I think these guys were the right amount of both. We're like they
There
were
was some
just like
goofiness.
they were evil. I would say they were evil. I wouldn't say
feel
they were
like
scary.
like from Kim Possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
They were threatening enough, but not enough to be like they can't be defeated.
She
pretty
was
one-dimensional.
She was cold, but he was kind of
So,
like a little more googly.
The guy that was
They bounced
the
each
evil
other.
brother, if you guys watch The Office, it was Plop or
Yeah.
Pete from The Office.
Yeah. I don't know
and
where she was from.
She was in this one movie.
She's got
with
kind
Ben
of piercing
Stiller.
eyes, where she looks
was
a little
in,
scary.
She was in a
She
movie with
looks
Ben
like
Stiller. She's been in a
Ivanka
lot of
or,
romantic comedies. She's usually like a shitty hot girlfriend in movies.
I could
At
see
least the
that.
movies I've seen her in, she's shitty hot
I
girlfriend.
could see that.
What's Trump's
She's usually
wife's name?
blonde.
Miranda?
Ivanka.
Ivanka.
It can't be Ivanka, is it? I thought that
Ivanka
was.
Trump.
I thought that was a different wife.
Ivanka.
Ivanka.
Is that really it?
Yeah.
Anyway, it kind of reminded me of her.
She is usually blonde too. The actress
Yeah.
is. This is like the first time I've ever seen her
Just
brunette,
with
which threw me
shitty,
off.
weird bangs that looked like a bad
I don't
wig.
think she had bangs.
It was like a dumb.
I thought her hair looked
swoop
completely
thing.
fine,
I thought
to be
it was
honest.
stupid. I thought it looked really stupid.
She's
If I was gonna be
usually
a super
blonde.
villain, I would change up my hair.
I thought she was a good villain.
They did change up her hair. She's usually blonde. I think
And
they
her
wanted to make
outfits.
her
She had a
more
couple
fierce by
outfits.
giving her dark
she
hair.
had power play outfits.
Yeah.
Giving her more fierce with the darker hair. She's
So-
too light with her blonde hair. That's why
Something,
they give her dark
something
hair.
that I kind of liked. In a more serious film, it wouldn't have made sense, but I like that we didn't really get a clear understanding of why they're doing this. It was just kind of
Weaponized DNA, dude.
weaponized DNA.
Yeah, they
Because we're gonna
never
make
said-
billions.
There was never a full plan of like what military they're gonna sell this to.
What does that mean? Are they gonna pump GI
What?
Joes filled
Yeah,
with
are
this
they
shit?
doing this to people? Are they doing
Dude,
this
put
to
whale
animals?
DNA in all of our soldiers.
Oh, by the way, okay, we're gonna talk about the. Okay, so speaking of just the
What
whale
if they
DNA,
like see Dwayne Johnson's
So-
physique and be like, let's take the DNA from this human?
I would just like to say too. So so the girl that was the scientist, she worked at Energene, and she goes in to tell Dwayne that she knows what's happening. She
Yeah.
is explaining the science to him,
Mm-hmm.
and as I wrote down, I'm pretty sure I took a second to write down, but some of what she said to explain this genetic mutation is the strength of a beetle, the size of a whale, and the speed of a cheetah.
Yeah, it's one of those movies.
So, yeah, she
Yeah.
just went on Wikipedia real fast to explain CRISPR, which is...
She Googles CRISPR, and it's just a page of those animals.
quickly did
Yeah.
the wiki page.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so it's just like combining
Phones don't go
the
that
best
fast.
pieces of every animal. And we'll get back to the whale thing, because we'll get to it.
We'll get to
but
it.
yeah, so yeah, and also, what was it, like the killing machine of a great white, size of a whale...
I think you got it the first
Form
time.
of a pail of water.
Yeah,
It was
it was
fucking
great.
stupid.
It was crazy. It was just crazy. Like, yeah, this is the science.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
And like, this is why your gorilla's getting big, and
It
he
was
can
like
feel automatically.
Borderline just straight camp at this
Yeah,
point.
it was silliness. It was
That's
silliness.
what I think. What my favorite thing about this movie is it didn't take itself too seriously.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I wrote down, where's it? Very good level of cheese. Like, it wasn't too much to be cheesy, but it wasn't too much to take itself
This
too
is-
seriously.
This wasn't
Hold on.
like a Sharknado.
Here's the
No,
thing, though.
it wasn't
This is the difference. I
Shawshank
think,
Redemption.
because it had the same like handled a different way. It would be Sharknado,
Yeah.
but they had good actors.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Texan guy, the cowboy. Like they had
And Dwayne
good,
Johnson.
And Dwayne, no, I'm saying like others. Obviously, Dwayne Johnson.
And I feel like
he's
it
always,
built up the emotional
No, Dwayne
relationship
Johnson
between
is
Dwayne
always
and the gorilla, too.
Dwayne's always the pinnacle of the acting in
Of
any
course.
movie he does.
I mean,
that's
of
why I
course.
didn't
That's
even
why
mention
we're
it.
doing this
I'm just
podcast.
saying they actually had
That's why
like
we're all
a
here.
cast that could
True.
handle this crazy plot.
Which,
with
looking at it now,
else,
like, how do they get these people to
like,
stand up
if
to
this
this
was
movie?
if this was made by
Pretty
like
wild.
you could give the same script to like the Sci-Fi Channel.
To fucking Michael Bay, and you
Michael
make
Bay.
a shitty painting
Different movie.
Yeah,
but they
this
had
movie
good
should have
They
sucked.
had the right people making this movie, so it was just.
We
a
need to
fun
look up
romp.
who the director is and see what similar
Oh,
movies
yeah.
they
They did a
did.
good
What an
thing.
impressive person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
I'm gonna look
incredible.
it up right now.
That's pretty incredible stuff.
Don't derail us too hard, Sloan.
I'm just
We
gonna
have to
Google.
keep speaking here.
I'm just gonna Google who it is.
Yeah.
So the comedian, I guess that segues us to another main character in this film. Shortly after what last thing we were talking about, my next note is about the comedian cuffing Dwayne,
Yeah.
He is the actor that played the comedian in Watchmen. I cannot remember his name.
We looked it up
He's
so
pretty
little
cool.
ago.
I think his name is something like Michael Keane.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
What's that?
What was that guy's name again?
Who?
Cowboy.
Sean
Cowboy
Michael
FBI
Scott.
agent.
Oh, it's
Or,
like-
Men in Black agent.
I got it.
Michael Jones.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Him.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Isn't he in Walking Dead too? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
He's Negan. I
Yeah.
didn't get that far because that show turned
Same.
into shit.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I never watched it, but I do like him as an actor a lot. I think he does a lot. And in this movie, I feel like he just walked into the set and he was like, "I'm gonna be a cowboy for this movie. Stop me!" And everyone decided not to.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Like, maybe the script didn't call for the cowboy angle at
Not at all. Not at all.
And
He was
he's
like,
like,
"My character's part FBI,
I'm gonna do a cowboy thing.
Men in Black agent, part cowboy."
I'd
more
rather
that
you
we
didn't.
got-
I'm gonna
The
do
more
it.
that we got through it was obviously part of the script, though, because they kept referring to him as a cowboy.
No, he kept referring to himself as a cowboy.
No, other people were... Okay, whatever.
He had a big belt buckle. He had a big gun on the side of his
Yeah.
hip that he never used, and he just kept referring to himself as a cowboy.
He was very cool.
That's pretty much all you need for me.
And right away he says something about like, "You're coming with me, brother," and then
So, no, wait,
he's
you're
intimidating
skipping over some
Dwayne.
stuff.
Naturally.
Okay.
Continue.
Saying why
So-
he was being intimidated.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, okay, George got really big. He broke out of his cage, and then the cops were called, and then they wrapped up George and Dwayne. Go.
What happened next?
They're gonna get on a plane.
Basically, the comedian, what's his name? What do we call him? We'll call him the cowboy in this movie.
I guess, yeah.
He is kind
Agent Harvey.
he's kind of sass talking Dwayne, and he's like, "You're a big dude, but I'm the law, and you're gonna listen to me, brother." And then Dwayne comes back with some fucking sizzling sass, and he's like, "Why don't you take the cuffs off me, and we'll find out, brother." Throws brother back in his face, and that's a big deal, I think, because Dwayne likes saying brother.
He does.
Dwayne on social media is calling everyone that he loves brother.
Yeah.
This was probably maybe an improvised bit, or at least Dwayneized bit.
I would take Dwayne Rise because I like that word. It's a word now.
It's not a good one, but
I was just gonna say. So I googled the director. The director has exclusively worked with Dwayne. He was on Journey 2,
no shit.
San Andreas, and this movie. It's specifically a Dwayne director.
Wow.
So I could see some of this stuff, like Brother, being part of the director, working with Dwayne.
Dwayne
and
is his muse.
We watched
Yes.
Journey 2.
I just wanted to share that because I think that could also help us understand this movie a little bit and why it works so well. Because this guy knows Dwayne.
Interesting.
He only works with
This
Dwayne.
is the newest one,
He
too.
only works, according to Wikipedia, he only works with Dwayne.
This is the newest one.
Listeners of our podcast.
I think Dwayne found
It
him.
went from Journey 2 to San Andreas to Rampage, if I'm not mistaken.
Listeners of our podcast know that we have watched the Journey movies.
Yeah, we did a big Journey to Madness.
Journey 2 was a nice, sizzly, pretty
interesting.
piece of garbage.
It was pretty, yeah, it had a lot. Yeah,
Garbage.
it had a lot going on in it.
Dwayne was
for
great
sure.
in it. There were good elements of it. Maybe it was a stepping stone. to
Dwayne's
get-
first song in a movie that we're aware of.
That was
I
really
think it was
good.
before Moana.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't know if he sang something in the movie before then. Because, as we have found out, there are
He probably
movies that
did
he's
in
in that we
Tooth
haven't
Fairy.
even heard
Yeah,
of or
we have
been
so
aware
many.
of.
We have so many.
So we can't really say for sure.
Anyway, sorry to derail it. I just wanted to say, like, maybe some of the, maybe when it gets, like, into that, like, The Rock stuff, like Brother,
Yeah.
part of it might be that the director loves him and only works with him.
So my notes from now on get slappier and shittier. So I'd like
Can't be worse than mine, dude.
my next one is Hot Pocket pouch.
Oh, it was actually it wasn't a Hot Pocket pouch. It was a Pop-Tart pouch. So let's break down. So the evil villains, we're going to break them down a little bit more. The evil villains in this story are a brother and sister. They're in charge of a company called Energene that does genetic mutations and some other stuff,
For
I guess.
money, because they're
For
bad
money.
guys.
And they're both like
Turn that
35.
off.
There's a sister that's like a cold hard bitch.
Cold hard
And
bitch.
then,
Cold hard bitch is perfect for her.
And then a brother that's like,
Plop.
I popped.
It's literally Plop and cold hard
he's
bitch.
Plop. He's just being Plop.
Yeah.
Less likable than Plop.
Yeah.
And he's just a goober. Like, he's like kind of like he was probably in a frat and he never grew up,
Yeah.
sort of thing. But he had like this custom Pop-Tart pouch where he's
cloth
like
pouch.
he's freaking out while eating a Pop-Tart out of a cloth pouch.
And they
with
don't mention it in the movie for
They
some
don't.
reason.
No.
They don't cover it.
For some reason, it's not a plot point. Should have been.
This is a custom piece
I
that they
like
brought
that it
onto the
wasn't.
set.
It was just, this is who this guy is. I'd like
I
to
loved
think
it.
that Plop was like, I think this is part of my character.
He made it.
I think maybe he brought it from home.
He could have made it. He could have made it.
Ordered it on
He could
Etsy
sew.
for this.
He
Yeah.
could sew. He could sew.
It could be so. Yeah.
And so, okay. So we see that George is getting big. He's on a plane. We also see that there is a wolf that's going crazy.
Yeah.
Destroying other
There are.
wolves.
There's like
And we
military
see an
people sent.
alligator that's just all the things, and an alligator is getting very big.
Yeah.
And then the evil brother and sister, they have some mercenaries that they hire
Well, yeah, because they got money.
because they got money. And then what do?
They use the money to hire the mercenaries to hunt down the giant wolf that is like pretty much
Yes,
Fenrir.
because they need their genetic material.
They need that
they
research,
know it's crashed
dude.
to land. They know it crashed to Earth, and
Yeah.
they need the information.
So they
Yeah.
hire some one-dimensional muscle mercs.
Just all dudes with neck tats.
All those neck
And
tats,
scars.
facial
And
scars,
So
mohawks,
fucking cut.
and fucking guns.
Yeah.
Goods.
Probably named Ghost and Echo
Just-
and Bravo. Shit like that.
This is what I like, is like it has these characters, they're like over the top action characters, but like for a very little part.
It's
They
like
don't
a
have
cartoon.
any
It's pretty
plot,
self-aware, yeah.
They do exactly what they should in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm just, and like what I was alluding to earlier, don't care about anybody. They're gonna die real fast.
Yeah.
Cause like we get introduced to this bad boy. He's got, so they're like, what did they say? They referred to their mercenary as Death Are Us or Kills Are Us.
God.
And then the sister is like, this is us. Like, this is the us and the kills are us. And then we see him, and he's got scars all over his arm, and he
He's
has
got
a
on
scar
his
in his face. Ugh.
He's seen
and then he
some
goes
shit.
out, and he sees a wolf that's huge, and it's covered in spikes. And they try to shoot it, and then he gets eaten.
This
real
wolf is
quick.
like bigger than buildings. He's like, I'm gonna shoot it.
Yeah.
With my gun.
After all his friends were killed,
Yeah.
all 10 of them, and he's like, I'm gonna get him.
Safety's off.
And then he just gets eaten. It's like, oh,
Rapid
I
fire for this
thought that
bitch.
this was gonna be
I-
a character that was gonna be part of the movie.
I
nope,
love.
he was
They
fucking
gave
dead.
him. He put on this expression right then, like, time for payback, and
Yeah.
then dies.
Dies immediately.
Like you don't see it coming. And
Which what I like about this movie is there's a lot of like quick, gruesome things.
Yes.
Very quick, but like shocking.
Womp dead
Dead.
forever.
Yes.
So many
womp,
quick
womp,
deaths.
womp, womp.
And then we move on. Then we go back to the bad guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we see that these creatures are going crazy, but we need the technology. We need the information. So,
For
okay,
our
here's
money.
as I underlined, crazy convenient science. Apparently, these genetically modified animals also have in their DNA to react to a specific radio signal.
Bat sonar, dude.
Bats.
Also, okay,
I don't know
is-
how it's global, but bat
This
sonar.
is also my point. So I didn't hear the bat part of the sonar. I just heard sonar. I assumed she was talking about whales because in the beginning with the setup of what these animals, these creatures are, she specifically said whales. So I assumed,
I thought whales were more size.
Yeah, but still, like, I know that they referred to whales. So then when I heard sonar, I assumed whales and there'd be some kind of callback to that weird setup. But there wasn't.
Their
That doesn't
bigness.
matter. Doesn't matter. And so, okay, so they have this. So these animals that get this, not infection.
They turn on like a signal on the top of a building that
so
calls the animals.
They want to go there
They
to
happen
destroy
to own a
it.
building that has radio wave signals. I guess they own a
No,
television.
you know what's the stupidest part? Not only do they have a building that has the radio signals that like call the animals, it's their building that calls these giant animals
Oh, they're super rich.
to
It's
them.
fine.
That they're like, oh, it'll be fine. We'll just bring
Yeah.
all the giant dangerous animals directly to
'Cause
We'll
they're
us.
deal
like-
with them when they
That
get
was
here.
one of the dumbest things.
They
Make
didn't
it
plan
anywhere
ahead.
else. Make it next
Pretty
door.
stupid.
Didn't plan
Yeah.
ahead. Didn't get.
Oh, man.
They didn't get. They have an antidote. They didn't get it out. They're just like, we'll just bring them here.
Yeah, didn't even get it out or like
They
do
discussed the
anything.
antidote. They didn't get it out. They were just gonna. Anyway.
We'll figure it out later.
They were
sort of situation.
convenient science. The animals are built to also, with the pathogen, to have a radio signal that they're attracted to, and they have a radio signal on the top of the building because, of course, the cold hard
Bat
bitch
DNA,
plans ahead.
dude. Bat DNA.
And then we go, and then, but as mentioned earlier, there was a plane situation with a big gorilla on it, and he got mad.
Why would you put big gorillas on any plane?
As
ever?
Dwayne,
You don't do
said to
that.
them, don't put the gorilla on the plane. He's gonna fuck this up.
Yeah.
He kept saying, this is
No
gonna
one
go
ever
poorly.
listens to Dwayne in movies.
They put some shitty tiny zip ties on Dwayne and put him on a plane and put his big ass monkey friend in a tiny little cage and they're on an airplane.
Then the radio signal
what could go wrong?
The radio signal gets turned on, and then the
Wakes
gorilla,
up the gorilla.
goes crazy. He breaks his feet through the cage and walks the cage through the plane.
That was neat.
And then Dwayne just says, "Fuck it."
I think that
Breaks his
was
zip
my
ties.
favorite part of the movies where Dwayne straight up just
man.
breaks out of his cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you know what? Shit's going too crazy for me. Boom.
I could've-
Yeah.
I'm so big.
I'm not
These are
even-
not confining
I'm
me.
not even gonna be polite about this
Yeah.
anymore. I'm gonna
Boom.
blow this off.
The gorilla
Best part in the movie.
destroys almost everyone on the plane,
Just murders
except
everyone.
for Dwayne. His lady, what's her name?
Doc.
Oh, she has a name.
Doctor.
Okay, Doc. Doc lady.
Doctor.
Doctor. Doctor and the cowboy are the only ones left. The cowboy is knocked unconscious and he's like wrapped to some cargo shit, and Gorilla's go nuts. Gorilla blasts a hole in the plane. There's
People
like,
getting sucked
air's
out of the
getting sucked
plane,
out.
craziness.
There's been so much gunfire. The plane is crashing, and then
Guess what? Dwayne saves the day, like he always fucking does.
Big
Don't forget about
surprise.
Swing Me.
She does say
Swing me.
she did yell "swing me" at Dwayne.
Yeah, so she's like, Dwayne
Like he's
needs
supposed to know what that means in this
No,
action
he did know what it
situation.
meant because he needed to reach something and couldn't reach it, and so she unbuckles herself out of her
Literally
seatbelt.
looks at him and imagine looking at Dwayne in the eyes and saying, "Swing me."
I wish.
Yeah, exactly. So he grabs her arm and he swings her to the parachutes, and they
We
get
all
their
wanna be sworn.
parachutes, and blah blah
Big
blah. They get out of the plane. The plane crashes. They
Saves
go back to look
Cowboy's
for the
life.
save Cowboy.
Gorilla's fine after the giant plane explosion.
Well, yeah,
somehow.
they go back to check the plane.
gorilla.
is nowhere to be found.
Either he went invisible, or he escaped.
He escaped.
Tune
Plot
in
twist.
later because he escaped.
Yeah, plot twist. He escaped. An escape means he just ran away.
Yeah.
Not much to
Also-
escape from.
Oh, I did want to mention because I wrote this down. It looked like Dwayne did a real parachuting scene
Yes, we're going to talk about that specifically.
because
That was good stuff.
the shot of Dwayne while he was parachuting looked like a GoPro strapped to his chest because it was not a good angle.
I want more.
It was not
I
flattering.
want more bad GoPro angles of Dwayne doing action stunts.
He looked like a
His
big,
head looked so
meaty
silly.
mountain.
No, his head looked dumb. The angle of it and like the
Except his
fisheye
nose
type
for miles.
lens of the GoPro made the top of his head look so teeny tiny.
Little pointy head.
A little pointy head. It looked fucked up, but I like it because it let us know that Dwayne did some real parachuting for this movie.
I like
he
it a
takes
lot.
everything seriously.
I like it a lot.
I'm
And
not
it
even
was-
gonna look into this and find out that he didn't because it felt like
It
he
was
did.
really, it was
It
really,
felt like
really
he
good.
did.
It was filmed like he did.
It was a good time.
And then they go to search the plane, and that's also when Dwayne was very sweaty, and I think we were all turned on.
Sweaty and bleeding, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mistaken.
Well, I have at this point written down reversed biceps. At this point in the movie, I'm looking at his body because He's
he was
fresh.
sweaty.
He's sweaty. His shirt is sucked to his.
What?
huge form.
Okay, guys, what size shirt do you think Dwayne wears?
Is it
X.
custom, or is it just very stretchy?
Yeah.
I don't know, because there's
here's
no way
the
his
thing.
dimensions are regular humans.
Here's the thing. Dwayne is a man that would get T-shirts tailored.
Of course, I'm sure he has his
So
own
I assume
tailors.
I assume that he buys like a good quality T-shirt in an XXL, and he has them tailored to his tiny waist.
Tiny for his form.
Tiny for his
still
form.
large.
I'm saying an XXL T-shirt is going to be boxy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
too
that
boxy.
body and the way that
Well,
he wears his shirts,
He likes them more form-fitting. You're right.
they're
To
gonna
show off the bod.
I
Yeah.
think he gets an XXL and then he has them tailored in a little bit at the waist because
Yeah.
he's not like a chubby XXL. He's just an extra large man. You know.
But about these reverse biceps, I was
Yeah, what do you got on
specifically
that?
noticing he had just bulging backs of his arms. I don't even remember what those muscles are called. Triceps?
Yeah.
They were phenomenal. Those
wonderful.
things were hogs. I was stunned enough to write it down in my notes where I stopped writing about anything. I wrote about his reverse biceps.
Something we haven't talked
Getting
about
into a
yet
plot twist.
that I wrote down is just I wrote down, God, I love Dwayne in sunglasses. We see him in a lot of movies, and he wears sunglasses in a few
I
of
don't
them.
remember him wearing sunglasses in this movie.
It was earlier on when, it's like aviators or something. For some reason, I'm not a huge aviator fan. Dwayne in any sunglasses, I'm sold.
Look at him right here.
He's a
Yeah,
bad
it's fucking
motherfucker.
badass.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So again, back to the plot of the movie. So that's when we find out that she, like the girl, I guess Doc, because we don't remember her name.
Doctor.
Doctor is like.
Please
it
call
was
me Tor.
revealed by the cowboy man in black because he's like, I'm not in the FBI, I'm not in the CIA. What is it? OGA, other government agency.
OGA.
He revealed that. So he revealed when they were on the plane that he was saying that Dwayne's background is a secret because most of it's redacted. He could see that he was in the military. All of it was redacted except for when he got into anti-poaching. So he obviously had some very top secret military stuff going on.
He was killing people.
Yes.
He's very good at it.
He was a murderer, but for our country. And
Naturally, he's an American hero.
and then also he
Fighting
then
people.
like when Mr. Cowboy was on his tablet, then he also brought up that Doctor was
Her name
actually
is even Tor.
fired from
Yeah, she was let go.
Energine and was arrested and put in jail for 13 months for trying to steal a hard drive from Energine. And then Dwayne's like, you lied to me. I don't trust people. Because also remember the part where Dwayne doesn't hook up with chicks because he doesn't like people. He prefers dogs. He doesn't trust people. I don't
He prefers
trust
dogs
people.
that we never get to see.
Also, I thought this was like, I wonder if Dwayne thought about, in his character development, about being like, maybe a man with social anxiety that doesn't trust people. I think he might have been.
Maybe.
This was my thought
You
when I
can
was watching it.
read into it however you want to.
This is what I wrote down. But, and so, and
Basically,
then.
Dr. Tor has not been involved with ElectroCorp for 2 years now and has been saying that she was part of it. And this is a pretty big. I have written down, don't lie to The Rock. He was pretty
Are we
upset
gonna
about
argue
this.
about this?
He was upset about this.
I also. Oh no, I wrote down something. I wrote down something else later.
This kind of breaks their dynamic for a second. He's hurt. Looks like we're running out of batteries over
shit.
there. We're recording audio, but the video might be cut short, and that's okay. We can upload it and have the end be audio only. That's fine.
That's really shitty, but we'll
Okay.
keep rolling with
no
it.
one will get to the end anyway.
Don't get to it anyway.
It's fine.
So, I thought that was bullshit though that he was mad because she was only lying. It was an omission. She was trying to fucking help. She wasn't a liar. He was being his whole like fucking social anxiety, being a baby about it. And then, but like she reminded him, George, the gorilla, was found by being poached, and he still found a way to trust humans. And she was like, "So you, The Rock." should trust humans too.
Should trust regular humans that aren't muscle-bound freaks like you.
Yeah. And he was like, you know what? You're right. If George can trust people, I can trust people. She also like explained like, oh, my brother had cancer, and she was like, and I was also trying to save like animals and
He
the
died before he got big.
like in Antarctica, and blah blah blah. I'm actually a great person that totally aligns with your ideals. So he was finally like came around and quit being a bitch about it.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then.
The animals are being drawn towards the city.
Yes.
It's essentially what the military people find out. Military with a capital M, because it's just like classic, very military people.
It's people in a dim room and big screens.
With camouflage
camo.
on. It's kind of hard to see them. They're blending in.
To as Colonel.
Mm-hmm.
Colonel, yeah. Giving orders about dropping bombs. Pretty much like, if we can't kill these monsters, then, well, we're going to do the only thing that is left to do. We're going to level the city. It's like how... It's
classic.
Yeah, very
the city
classic.
Of Chicago, by the way.
Yeah.
We didn't say that.
I don't think we did.
Dave and Buster's.
David Buster's gets destroyed. You want to pick it from here about what happens to the city?
So yeah, like the gorilla and the wolf, they're like going on the same path, going towards Chicago.
Beelining straight for that fucking
military's
tower.
Like, they're together, and Dwayne's like, yeah, because they're being influenced by something else. These two predators would fight each
It
other.
must be bat sonar.
It must be something going on. And then the military's like, yeah, whatever, Dwayne. We don't believe you, even though you're a huge primatologist, big.
Even though you're only an expert in the field
you're an
that
expert and you're
helping
an
us on.
Adonis. I don't believe you. And so, but then, yeah, they come in, they're just ripping Chicago apart, and part of what they pull
Destroying
apart
buildings.
is a Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's
with
get
a
destroyed.
huge logo. So this movie was
Show that logo, you
sponsored by Dave and Buster's and Ford.
And Bose.
And Windows, the tablet was shown
I
too.
didn't even notice. I just noticed Ford and Dave
I
and
noticed
Buster's.
a lot of product placement.
There was a Bose
Okay.
headphone.
There's a lot of product placement in this movie.
I only noticed those two. And then, and then the bad lady changes into her red dress and
red
wears
dress.
her fur
Oh, her
coat.
fucking red dress. So
She
she's just
goes-
straight up like the Sith. She's ready to go in and just
So, yeah.
crack down
So-
on the law.
So the monsters, they're headed towards Chicago. Dwayne and Doctor are like, we gotta stop this.
Still a
Doc-
helicopter. We forgot about the
No, I was gonna
helicopter
get to that.
part.
So like Doctor is like, I know that Energene has an antidote.
There's
That-
always a secret antidote.
There's an antidote. That
Always a
will,
secret
It
antidote.
won't stop their growth or anything, but it will stop the aggression. So like this thing that has affected these animals makes them more aggressive, makes them heal rapidly, makes them grow rapidly, makes them get spikes, and does some other stuff. But this antidote, it will just at least stop the aggression, so they'll just be very big animals. And so she's like, I know where the antidote is. And they're on their way, and then Dwayne's like, we gotta get in a helicopter because nobody's listening to them, because they're like,
Yeah.
whatever, scientists, we don't care.
What do the experts know?
And so
we don't need to
Dwayne's
vaccine our
like-
children.
Dwayne, like, chokes at a guy, and he said, that's a big arm, which was awesome.
Yeah.
It's a big arm, don't fight
That's
it.
a big arm, don't fight it.
And then, so they get to Chicago, and the military's about to drop a
Do you
big
think
old
he's
bomb.
astounded at his own body? You think he's like,
I hope so.
Jesus Christ, like, this arm
This
is
is
so
insane.
big.
What have
But
I
he
do
just,
wrong?
like, rock. I imagine The Rock sitting in a bathtub just, like, doing this.
He's gotta know.
He's gotta have a custom
thoughts.
bathtub.
He knows. He's in the bathtub
He's
rubbing
gotta
his
have
thighs
thoughts
and
like,
his
I'm
thighs.
bigger than pretty much everyone in the world. That's kind of amazing.
So,
I
they're
bet
on
he
their way to
knows.
Chicago, and the no bomb's gonna be dropped. They're like, we gotta get the antidote,
Yeah.
and then they break in, and then she's like, there's some things that happen. We're at the climax now.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's like she's trying to hack in, but the hacking's not working, so The Rock does some analog hacking by just, like, breaking glass with his fists and his feet. And, they get the antidote, and that cold bitch wearing her red dress and her fur coat
Plop and the
comes
cold
in, and Plop.
cold bitch showed up.
Plop is holding a rat.
And a gun. They never explained the rat a
What's the
lot.
point of this fucking rat?
I assume it just had like research done to it, so they needed to save the research.
Yeah, it felt like a deleted scene
Yeah.
kind of thing.
We need to watch these deletes. Get a dog scene, get a rat scene.
And so she's like, you can't have the antidote or I'll kill you. And then she shoots The Rock, like, in the stomach.
I wrote down you don't shoot Dwayne.
Because no one was taking her brother seriously. She's
No.
like, let me see this.
Yeah,
Plop.
Plop.
She takes the gun from Plop.
I'm gonna shoot the Rock. So
Yeah.
now you know I'm not fucking around.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And The Rock falls down. They take Doctor up to...
The Rock is seemingly incapacitated.
Yes.
He goes
He's-
down.
Yeah, he's crashed a helicopter
But-
just fine, but one
so,
bullet and he's pretty
Doctor
upset.
had some antidotes in her hand that she hands over to the evil woman, but she kept an antidote in her pocket. And then they get up to the roof, and then here's the big twist of the movie. Guys, twist of the movie, antidote.
How far are you going to skip ahead? Because right
Well,
now we're at the
so-
climax. As these people are getting to the roof, the monsters are just now also getting to the roof
That's true.
to tear off the signal that's driving them crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a whole, like, so many
There's a
people
lot of
fighting in
carnage.
different things.
There's
Carnage
so
is a
much
great
carnage.
word for it.
There's just
It's
like
a rampage.
the alligator.
It's a rampage.
The giant alligator is just flipping boats full
Which
of people.
we didn't talk about much yet, honestly. Can we talk about the wolf? Can we talk about the gorilla?
Yeah.
Like, because there was a third canister that fell in Florida, and you kind of see a little bit of it, and then you see a little bit moving in the river. But I like a nice unrevealed monster. I like a little bit of, like, you thinking in the back of your mind, what is this going to be? Like, I know there's more, but they haven't shown it to me yet. And when they do, fucking explodes out of the river in Chicago.
This huge money
And just
shot
starts
of it coming up.
Yeah, just starts
Tell you-
taking down everything, and is way bigger than any of the other two, and is like half
Stegosaurus tail.
Stegosaurus tail. It's alligator plus like a boar. It had tusks.
Yeah.
This thing was a
Lot of spice.
motherfucker.
This
yeah.
is when
Lot
the
of
movie
spice.
starts kind of feeling like the game.
Yeah. It's just yeah. It
They
gets
just start
insane.
beating the shit out of the city.
Yeah.
They're
Oh.
punching buildings and they're falling down like the game.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Oh man.
The one thing that I feel like, so here's my one thing about the movie. They made the wolf extra large and super spiky. They made the alligator extra large and super spiky. They didn't make George extra large and super spiky. He was large, but he wasn't extra large like they were in spiky. And I think it was because we were supposed to continue to sympathize with him because we need to
He
continue to
didn't
love
really
George.
turn into a mutant as
Because
much
they
as just
didn't
get
like
big.
turn
Yeah.
him fully.
He didn't get into a mutant.
Yeah, so I thought that was a little weird, but also I understood what they were doing because we still need to love George.
I would have sized them all up.
Well,
Yeah.
As a fan
I
of
thought
giant
they made
monsters.
Should have made George.
so
just as
George
big.
just breathed in the fumes while the alligator ate the canister.
That's true.
I think he spit it back out.
Now you swallow it.
Did
He
swallow
just.
it? Wait, so did the wolf. The wolf just sniffed it. And he was
Yeah.
like, oh.
I don't know about the wolf. But
The wolf
I think it was more just like because they talked about how George wasn't getting food when he was growing, and the wolf like straight up ate like his and killed his whole pack, and was
Yeah.
just in the woods, ate a bunch of humans, and we're getting more food.
Yeah, maybe.
I think maybe contribute to the growth. And a giant alligator's gonna eat fucking whatever it wants to eat because it's a giant
He
alligator.
was just flipping boats. So
Yeah,
he's
he was just
eating
gonna eat
people in
whatever.
boats. That's true.
I think it might have
Okay.
been a lot of different factors, and it was also a movie too, so it's not. So.
yeah.
No, yeah.
It's not like this movie was scientifically accurate up to this point, so
So,
that
yeah.
was okay for me.
The creatures, the monsters, the rampagers are heading towards the radio signal.
Yep.
And Doctor has the antidote secretly in her pocket. And then George is up there.
George is up there.
George is up
He's
there.
beating the shit out of the signal.
Beating
He's
the
trying to
shit
get
out
that
of
thing
it.
turned off. It's
He
driving all of them
hates it.
crazy.
He hates it. And
He's tearing
so-
down the building by like
and
breaking
then the
this
Rock
thing.
is like, we have the antidote. How do we get it to him? So, the evil villain lady, she's talking some shit again. She's
Mm-hmm.
pointing the gun at them. She thought they were dead, but they weren't dead. And she's like, I'll fucking kill you or something. And
I'll be a bad guy.
And then the doctor throws the antidote in her purse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Rock shouts George.
Yeah, George.
And George notices, and he's in full rampage mode, so he just grabs what he can see, and he grabs the bad lady, swallows her
Like
whole.
throws her up, and it's slow mo, like her falling into his mouth, like perfect sized, with like his mouth is agape, and she's just slowly falling
And
and
it's
screaming.
like her purse is second. Like, she didn't need to die. Only her purse needed to die, but fuck it. She's a bad lady, so let's kill her. And
Bad
her
man
purse.
pajama.
And then the Rock is like, how long will this antidote take to work? And she's like, 10 minutes. And he's like, we don't got 10 minutes, because then the wolf is on the roof, and the alligator's coming up, and they're tearing the building apart. And then there's a broken helicopter.
Oh.
It doesn't have a tail. It just has a propeller on top. So then the Rock's like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get in the helicopter and we're just gonna ride out the wave like you're falling down an avalanche. And she's like, I've never done that before. Yeah. And then it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
They did a lot of fun jokes about like, this is an action movie. And then she's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was really fun how they did that.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, of course I haven't done that.
I kind of noticed after they crashed the helicopter and Rock sustained some injuries and he had a bunch of bloody makeup on his face, he kind of went primal. After that crash, The Rock started kicking ass.
Oh, my favorite part was like, because we are talking about how he got shot, and then when he shows up again and just like saves the day, he's like, oh, turns out I'm fine.
Yeah. Turns out they missed all the vital organs. Don't think about it too
Turns
hard.
out I'm fine. Don't worry about me being shot. Doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter. So I guess this leads us up to the final fight scene.
Yeah.
So the antidote kicks in, and George.
He's George again.
He's George again.
No longer rampaging.
The Rock like sees that, so the building falls down, the helicopter crashes, and then George emerges from the rubble, and then the Rock, makes eye contact, and he sees, I think he's George again.
Yeah.
And does
he's got the blue eyes.
Yeah, he's got the blue eyes again, because they were like red,
they were red,
black, and like scary.
Yeah.
But they were just his beautiful blue eyes again, and the Rock like does some sign language at him, like, are you okay? Or like, whatever, I can't do sign language. Family. And he's like, are you okay? And that's later. And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. And then he and the Rock go and fight the wolf and the alligator.
2v2, Dwayne and giant gorilla versus these two monsters.
They're both a lot smaller than both the monsters.
Yeah.
But the
will
Rock
they persevere? Of course they will.
The Rock acts like he is a massive creature.
He
like
doesn't act like he's small at all.
Yeah.
I like how they did the shots too, because it was like a upward shot of the Rock to make him look just as big as the monster, as the gorilla.
Not phased by their size.
Oh no!
Well, he did have like a rocket launcher or like a grenade launcher.
The only thing he's scared about is not having enough things to contribute to the fight. He's fine being in the fight for all of it.
Yeah, he just wants to help.
He just wants to help.
So he shoots a grenade launcher into this thing, into his gills, kind of.
Yeah,
the alligators don't have gills.
They killed the wolf,
but
the alligator bit the wolf's head off.
Yeah.
Okay, the Rock taunted the wolf to run at the alligator, so then the alligator took its aggression out on the wolf and tore the wolf's head off, then threw it in the air and then catched it.
That was really good.
Insanity.
Little moments of extreme gore.
Yeah, it's madness.
Carnage. Just as I said,
carnage and rampage.
Fucking carnage.
Yeah.
Carnage and rampage.
So,
man.
The grenade to the gills doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
And the Rock was like, oh shit, or oh fuck.
Fights more with
Rock had a
George.
moment where he almost died. Like, he was in peril for a bit when it was just going for him after that grenade throw. Like, he had him pinned down inside, like, the remnants of a building.
So,
and he's, like, clawing and biting at, like...
Yeah. Was it after? So I think then the alligator threw George into a building where a big metal spike went through George's chest.
Impaled.
He impaled him, and then the Rock was like, no, I gotta save my buddy. So he gets into another crashed helicopter that had a, like, grenade launcher and machine gun and was shooting at the alligator.
Fucking madness. I love it.
And he was shooting at it, the alligator didn't care, and then he shot 17 grenades at once. And then...
How did this thing fucking die? I don't even remember.
Because then... After
when it's got
there was
Dwayne
smoke,
pinned down in the building, it's like clawing at him.
And so then there was smoke. And then George, I think, took the bar that he was impaled with.
It was.
Grabbed it out of his chest, jumped through the air, and shoved that fucking rod into the alligator's eye and into its brain. And he, like, cracked it back and fucked up his brain and gave him a lobotomy.
And it happened in a good slow motion, too.
It was really good.
Yeah.
That's right. That was fantastic.
So good.
And the Rock was
and
like,
boom, the military strikes were called off. The people were saved.
Yeah.
No one's attacking George. But he wasn't pale. He's not looking good.
He sustained some damage for sure.
He talks a little bit to the Rock, and then he kind of goes limp.
That's one of the things about this movie that I wrote down. Invokes so many emotions because early on in the movie, you're introduced to the relationship between Dwayne and George, and how they've known each other for a bit. They've helped each other a bit. They're very comfortable with each other. So we get to this point where after George has gone through this traumatic experience, and seemingly has died, and it's
Turns out you're feeling for the CGA.
yeah, you don't want this thing to die.
It's a fucking bummer.
Yeah, he's a hero.
Buddy. It's
So
his
it's
buddy.
like
You don't
he-
want Dwayne's friend to die.
No,
He says something right before he goes, like, I saved everyone, pretty much.
save the city.
And so it's like, he did it. He saved everyone, and he died for it.
But
Yeah,
also this whole time I was like, wait, these animals are genetically engineered to,
super hero.
Super heel.
yeah, turns out-
Spoiler alert.
Giant gorilla must have super healed because turns out he was faking it and flipped off Dwayne
He
again.
was literally just pranking, or maybe like was actually dying, healed, and then kept doing it
I
as
think
a
he was
prank.
pranking. I think he was
pranking the whole
pranking.
time.
He gives Dwayne another beautiful middle finger.
Good callback. That's a good callback.
Good callback.
There's been so many bad callbacks in movies. This is a good one.
And then it ends in a fist bump, but his fist is so big now.
so big.
Even more.
It's
yeah.
like Dwayne is like his knuckle is his whole fist tops.
And I was like, so the movie ended with that. What the fuck happens next to this giant gorilla?
It's not like they're like, we gotta find a place for this guy, and he's not getting on a plane. That sounds
Show me the sequel.
yeah.
I
Good
think
luck.
he's gonna live it. I think Dwayne is going to be awarded a large estate for saving the city of Chicago and the world, as they said. He saved,
Which was not the world.
But they
Dwayne
said
did not save the world.
They
Yeah, he
said
saved.
he
He
saved
saved
the
like
world.
half of Chicago.
They
Yeah.
said he saved the world.
It's not
So
true. Fake
the
news.
Dwayne, I said the Dwayne. The Dwayne
The
is
Dwayne.
going to be given a large estate where the gorilla, the George, can live freely to just be
Yeah.
the most enormous gorilla.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to be given a happy life.
I would hope
Here
so.
and out.
I mean, they're both heroes at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Also, I forgot to mention, Plop died with a plop. but-
Plop died with the plop. He got smashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Plop got smashed. But you
I
know,
like the character deaths in this movie.
it's a lot of some like
Some
just
of them you don't
instant-
expect.
Gruesome and fast.
Instant surprising
All of
gory
them.
deaths.
All of
And
them.
I
That's all.
love
Yeah,
that
I like a good unsurprising death.
shit. It was good stuff. Well, we are going on pretty long here. Do we want to wrap this one up and talk about how we felt about the overall movie?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
any other things about the film you want to hit on before we get to the Dwayne
There's other
meter?
things.
I'm sure
but
we're
I
gonna
don't
get
think
into it
I don't
as
think
we
it's-
talk about
Yeah.
our
I just
rating.
don't think it's
So
worth it. Like I was thinking about the fist bump with Doctor, but there's other
So, as viewers know, at the end of our film, we all rate the movie, and we also rate Dwayne's performance in the movie.
both are very important.
Because sometimes he's in a shitty movie, but he still did great.
Yeah, he always gives it like I said, 250%.
I've
so many
never
goosebumps for
really rated
his
Dwayne
things.
poorly.
Fucking commitment. This is for Dwayne's
You're
commitment.
full goosebumps, dude.
It's for Dwayne's commitment.
That's like a nervous system problem.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's for Dwayne.
So, I guess I can start. So this movie.
We're gonna start with the movie.
the movie itself.
1 to 10. 1
me-
being the worst, 10 being the best.
I think I'm gonna give this movie an 8. It was fucking awesome, and like, you know, there's some masterpiece films that are a 10, but for what this movie is, it did it so well.
Yeah.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
so fucking fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm giving it an 8.
I would think I'm gonna give it a 7. I liked it a lot. It's what I want out of I'm gonna say dumb action movie, but just in the fact that it doesn't need to explain that much. It's just straightforward action. Here's a bunch of ridiculous shit coming at you. We're not gonna try to explain it because it doesn't matter. We're just here to bring you a fun movie, and I think that they did that, and I had a really good time with it.
Yeah, so I was gonna do 2 ratings for as a movie. So, as a film, I'll give it a 7. But for what it is, it's a 10 out of fucking 10.
That's why
It's
that's
a 10
what
out of
boosted
10.
me to an 8.
It is exactly what it is. And I think you guys are both
Exactly.
talking
There's
about
not that many flaws
but
to
for
it.
like in its genre, it's the best it could be.
We
because
never hated
it's
any part of this movie.
No.
No, it was
I would've
all
made
good.
the monsters
like
bigger,
I
personally.
didn't hate watch. There was no hate watching with it.
No?
It was. It's
It's
what
ridiculous
it was,
fun.
and
It was
it
an
did it in a
appropriate length.
perfect way, and
Yeah.
it had actors that actually pulled off the craziness, and they actually just good actors that knew how to play with that crazy dialogue.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
If you want to watch just like a goofy action movie, just ridiculousness.
If you're in the
10 out
mood
of
for
10.
a Rampage style movie,
If I'm
it'll be a
comparing it
10.
to every
Oh, yeah.
fucking movie I've seen,
Right.
then it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It was
for what
so
it
much
is,
better than it
10
had
out of
any
10.
right to be.
Yeah.
It was so surprisingly good.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm getting more goosebumps.
It was capital F fun.
crazy good for what it was.
Yeah.
I was so impressed. I was expecting to hate this movie.
I'm glad you
And
did.
just like Dwayne.
Oh, so this
I
has been a more
loved the
awkward
whole
conversation.
movie. The whole movie was good.
Yeah. So moving on from that, we can talk about now Dwayne's
Dwayne's performance.
specific performance in the film. Now,
And-
Aaron, starting with you, the same scale, 1 to 10. How do you feel Dwayne contributed to the
You do have to consider all
overall
Dwayne performances.
of this movie?
Right. So I'm gonna work this out as a
Yeah.
muscular and vascular.
Yeah.
He was at his top of his game.
Super torqued.
He
was
was
torqued.
bigger than necessary for this film, but maybe
He's
it
just
was necessary.
big all the time, dude.
That
He
is
has
true.
been
He's
smaller
large.
in other recent films. His, like I said,
I'm telling
dude,
you, we need a fucking
I wrote
timeline.
down reverse biceps. He was huge.
Was
He's
this
just
maybe
really big right
a little
now.
bit after the Fast and Furious 8 when he was his biggest, maybe?
I think he was just like
Maybe.
he is his
'Cause that was-
biggest.
that
most
was-
recent.
that was
recent
big.
movies,
That was
he's gonna
horse
be big.
That was
thighs.
fucking Hummer person.
Hummer person. So he was huge. So I can't fault him there. He got sweaty. He got dirty. He got bloody. I can't fault that.
Yeah.
We loved it.
He didn't have a ton of jokes, but he was pretty charismatic, and it had some good action scenes. I think I'm gonna give him an 8.5.
Yeah.
8.5 on the Rockometer.
Okay. Very similar. I feel like I would also give him either an 8 or a 9. I'm afraid to give a 10 because I don't know how perfect it could be. But I do like so many different aspects of this movie that I thought were great. I thought the way he had conversation with different characters. I thought the way he talked to a CG ape but made it seem like it was a real thing that he was talking
Yeah.
to. Like,
There
I
was
was
some
so
fun
fully
emotional
invested in this
connection.
character based on his performance talking to this thing and having the relationship with it.
You're right.
Just all of that, and just, man, I liked it a lot. I think he did really well. He played The Rock. I mean,
he
as
was
we know
why he
him.
believes in that CG monkey.
yeah. I mean, if
Rock.
if you didn't buy into the relationship between George and The Rock, then you wouldn't have cared as much about the movie.
Mhm.
I don't think.
It would have been a CG.
So that
fest.
definitely helped. I would say I would maybe 8.5. I'll also get 8.5.
I'm glad that you
8.5.
brought that up because now because we just watched the climax of the movie, and so
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the action scenes. I kind of forgot about how much he actually made me care about this gorilla.
Yeah, it was just emotional climax.
Because I was actually having a hard time thinking of how to rate it because a lot of times I give The Rock huge scores because he's what carries the movie.
Yeah.
This time it was actually just a fun romp.
Yeah.
So it's how do I rate him when he's just doing a good job in a fun movie? But he did make me care about a CG albino gorilla.
Yeah. Oh wait, I don't think we
That
mentioned
then
this the
got
first time.
you.
We might have mentioned the gorilla is albino.
Oh yeah,
By
he's
the way.
albino.
Write that down. He's an albino.
He's albino. He's special. It's special that he didn't get poached because everybody wants his pelt.
Oh man.
So now I don't know. Wasn't gonna give him the highest score because it's he wasn't carrying the movie, but
He didn't need to.
But
he
he
did.
carried the emotion of the movie.
Yeah.
By making me care about
On
the
those
CG
fucking
gorilla.
triceps.
It also helps that the people that did the CG did a good job, but
Yeah.
they made me care about it. He
Yeah.
made me care about it at all. Fuck, I don't even know.
I need a number, Sloan.
8.75.
There you go.
8.75.
If I ever get a 10, I'm
No,
gonna have to
9.
call.
9.
I'm gonna have to call off work the next day if I get a 10, because a
9.
10 will, on my scale, an 8 is phenomenal.
10 will change
10
your life.
10, I'm not gonna be able to go to bed that night. That's
I
just.
feel like a 10 would be The Rock in a total. Like, here's what I would give The Rock a 10 for. I don't know if this is what you guys would give The Rock a 10 for, but this is what I keep saying 10 for. Would be
Over and out.
if he was in like a serious or not so serious, but like a dramatic film, and just totally convinced me of his character, and like a very like if he did like really subtle like character development.
Oh, see,
I don't know, man. I'm all about the big body and using it in a big action movie.
A 10
That's
for
what would
me.
get me to give him a 10. If he did like a subtle performance with that huge body. Like if you could like the way that like in Burn After Reading, the way that Brad Pitt was fucking gorgeous but also interesting, like that. Like that's what you need for me to give you a 10 for an acting performance.
That doesn't sound like a 10 to me. I would be looking for nudity.
You just want to see his dick.
I want to see his dick. And I want...
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I don't think
That's
you're
why I
gonna-
would call off work
I
the
don't
next
want to know. I don't want to know what it looks like.
That is what a 10 would be, is seeing all of him.
Oh, man.
And getting the full charm, the eyebrow jokes,
Yeah.
charisma, smile.
No, I want to. Like,
All of
what
it,
would
man.
give me? What would help me?
He
give-
has it in him. If
I would
someone
give him
writes
a
it
10
down.
Also,
out of
no
10
eyebrows in this
if he
movie.
didn't do,
No eyebrows.
Too serious
I
of
would
a
give him a
movie.
10 out of 10 if he didn't use like those things at all. He gave like a performance.
I think we look for different things in movies, personally.
That's true.
As we
that's
talked
what-
about before we even
Yes.
watched the movie.
That's
We're into
what
We
would-
got kind of
blockbusters.
heated about that.
Yeah, that's what would get me to give him a 10 out of 10.
All right, well,
This was fun. This is, we just watched Rampage.
it feels good to get back
Episode,
into
So
it.
episode
good.
11 of the Rock Block. Very good.
We've got
Such
Very,
one
very good.
official announcement left to make.
Oh,
That
yeah.
we are officially, can I say it?
Yeah, we have to
We
do it or we
are
won't do it.
going to take this series onto Spotify. We are going to pay the
And
$6
iTunes?
a month iTunes.
I think it's iTunes.
We're gonna put the
both.
podcast where the people
I
are.
don't think
do
it's.
both.
It might not. I don't think
It's
it's,
both.
Stitcher, but it's at least Spotify and iTunes. You got your spit on it.
Basically, we want to expand the Rock family. We
Sorry.
appreciate all of your views, all of your shares, retweets, comments.
We do it
subscriptions
for the 5 views.
for the 5 views.
That's really why we do it.
Uh-huh.
We do it for The Rock.
We do it for the Rock.
I just want him to hear how much we love him.
If we get to the end of this, to the end of the Rock
There is
Block,
no end. He will never stop.
after having watched everything, if we don't get one
So
thing
many
of
goosebumps.
recognition
He'll
from
never
this,
stop.
I feel a little bit let down.
I
I
wouldn't.
think we will. We will
I
get
wouldn't.
something.
Depends how far we take this. We've taken it
I
up to
wouldn't-
11 so far.
I wouldn't
Season
feel
1 was
bad.
great. Season 2's off to an okay
Why
start.
feel
Yeah.
bad about sharing your love
I don't.
about something to the world? It's okay. Would it be a perk if The Rock at all knew about it? Of course. But we're just sharing
We're
a genuine
spreading
love.
it. We're spreading our rockology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, next episode, what can our audience look forward to? Are we going to hit
Are we
on
going for the Titan games?
the Titan Games Table Talk?
We probably should. Just
Yeah.
because it's up to date. It's pretty relevant right now.
Um,
So the kids are
for
watching.
those not informed, the Titan Games is Dwayne's new television show, which
I
just
think on
pits,
NBC.
very muscly people against each other and
God, I'm
very
getting
strength
goosebumps again for those power
related
ladies.
challenges. And we're looking forward to covering that for you and bringing you the best content we can about that because it's a lot of fun. There's a lot there.
Tune in next time for the Titan Games Table Talk.
Yeah,
Strong people.
strong people led by
The
one of the
strongest.
strongest men. I would say maybe not just physically strong, but just like charismatically and emotionally,
That's
and
Mentally
strength.
just
strong.
like
That's strength too.
socially strong too. Just
He's a
overall,
mentally strong
yeah,
man.
just the strongest.
God, I fucking love that guy.
Thank you all for if you stayed around this long to listen to
Yeah,
us.
thanks for listening if you made it this far.
Yeah, thank you
It's
very
been
much.
great.
We do
You're
it
a
for
champ.
you.
Too. You're a fucking champ.
Yeah.
You're a Titan.
The Rock would be so proud of you. I'm gonna look directly in the camera and say this. The Rock would be so proud of you.
Camera's dead. We ran out
Oh
of battery.
well, then I will look
right into
I will look
that.
directly into the
It's an
audio.
audio recording.
Thank you very much. This has been episode 11. We look forward to bringing you more episodes in the future. This has been the Rock Block. My name is Zach.
I'm Sloan.
And I'm Aaron.
Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you next time.
What the Rock